Okay, so the first question says two customers borrowed the same amount of money, one at a compound interest, another at simple interest. After 2 years, the interest being payable by one is rupees 315 and by other is less than rupees 300. So we can say the compound interest that is payable is 315. Compound interest is 315 and the simple interest is less than rupees 300. So it has to be 315 minus 300, that is 15 rupees should be the simple interest. Find the sum borrowed by both of them. Here the time value is given 2 years. The SCI and SI both have been given. Okay, CI and SI both have been given. If we look at the formulas for simple interest and compound interest for certain situation, so the simple interest is given by P into R into T upon 100. That is principal into rate into time upon 100. And if you want to calculate compound interest, it is given as P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power n, where n is the time value minus P. So we what do we have? We have time t value and SICI only, but we don't have the principal value that they're asking to find out. Find the sum borrowed by both of them. So we don't have principal value that we are supposed to find out. So principal value is unknown, and we don't have the rate also given. They have not provided any rate. So the rate value is also unknown. So if we have two values unknown, then it is difficult to find. It is impossible to find out principal rather. Okay, as the rate percent is not given, so it is not possible by these information only to find out the principal value or the sum value. So we can easily say the data is not sufficient, or we can write the answer as data inadequate. Okay, in the next question they say find the CI, that is compound interest on rupees 6252 at 10% per annum for 4 years. So we have got everything here. The time value is 4. The rate value is given as 10%, and the principal amount on which the compound interest is levied, the principal amount is given as rupees 6252. Okay, we have to find out the compound interest. The simple formula for compound interest is simply P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power n or to the power t minus the principal itself. If we do that, we're going to put all the values inside. If we do that, this is going to be 6252. 1 plus rate value is 10 by 100 to the power total time is 4. Okay, minus principal again 6252. If we solve this further, this is coming out to be 6252 into 1 plus 10 over 100 is 1 by 10. So it's 10 plus 1 11. So it's 11 by 10 to the power 4. So we can write it as 11 by 10 to the power 4 minus 6252 again. Okay. So we can solve this out, and this is ultimately coming out to be 2901 approximately. This is approximately coming out to be 290. Okay, so that's what should become the compound interest value, which is available in option number D, rupees 2901. Okay, find the compound interest on rupees 1300 for 3 years at 3% per annum, 4% and 2.5% first year, second year, and third year. So here we have got three rate value. First rate value is, let's say, R1 is 3%, then the rate value is R2 is 4%, and the rate value is R3 for third year. So for first year and for second year, for third year, the respective rate values are 3%, 4%, and 2.5% given. Okay, the principal value is already given to be rupees 1300. Okay, so in this situation, when the rate keeps on varying, so we have to also vary the rate in our formula. So the formula is little bit changed. Okay, when you have different rates for different successive years, then the formula for amount or compound interest can be also labeled from it. The amount formula becomes P into 1 plus R1 upon 100 multiplied by 1 plus R2 upon 100 and then multiplied by 1 plus R3 over 100, where R1, R2, R3 will be the rates of successive years, that is first year, second year, and third year. So if we do that and we put all the values inside, so P value is 1300. So the first rate of interest is 3 by 100. The second rate of interest is 1 plus 4 by 100. And the third rate of interest is 1 plus 2.5 over 100. So these are the three rates we have put inside. If we solve this, this is approximately coming out to be 1427 rupees. This is approximately coming out to be 1427 rupees. That is the amount value. What is the compound interest value? Compound interest is always amount minus principal. Amount value is 1427. minus principal value invested was 1300. So if we solve this, this is coming out to be rupees 127. So that is the ultimate compound interest value, rupees 127, which is available in option number C and is the right answer. Okay, let us see the fourth question. Find the amount received on rupees 6,400. So obviously the principal amount is 6,400 at the end of 3 years. So the time value is 3. Add 17% per annum compound interest. So the rate value is given as 17% per annum. So we have a simple formula for compound interest. Compound interest can be found out by uh, principal 1 plus r over 100 to the power t, okay, minus principal. This is how we calculate compound interest. Or we can do one more thing. We can find out the amount first. That is calculated by p into 1 plus r by 100 to the power t. And this will be the amount. And when we calculate the amount, then compound interest can be calculated by amount minus principal. So both the things can be applied. So let us do the amount part first. Let us find out the amount. Okay. So the amount value is 6,400 rupees. That is the principal value multiplied by 1 plus rate value is 17 over 100 to the power 3. So that is what will be the amount value. If you solve this further, this comes out to be 6400. 1 plus 17 over 100 is going to be 117 over 100's whole cube. Okay, if we solve this together, then this comes out to be rupees 10,250, and that is the actual amount value, rupees 10,250, and is available in option number B, and is the right answer. Okay, so the next question. Question number: the effective annual rate of interest corresponding to a nominal rate of 6% per annum payable half yearly is. Okay, so effective rate of interest can be understood in one manner. Okay, effective rate of interest means that if you want to calculate the interest in one go, so that he says the nominal rate of 6% per annum payable half yearly is. Okay, so if you want to calculate the value of interest in one go, then he says the rate of interest is 6% per annum, but it is compounded half yearly. So whenever we have the rate of interest value is in per annum given, okay, the rate of interest value is per annum, or we can say this annual rate of interest. Okay, this is also said as annual rate of interest. And when it is compounded half yearly, that is 1 by 2 of a year, then the rate value is also changed to r by 2%. Okay, when we are supposed to calculate the interest compounded half yearly only, and the rate percent is given of an annual situation, then we do the then we divide the rate of interest, that is per annum, by 2, so that the half yearly rate is applicable. So if the half yearly rate is applicable, so the r value in the question is given as 6%, so r by 2 will be 3%. So now for half year rate of interest, for half year tenure, the rate of interest applicable will be 3%. So if we find out like that, and see, we have to find out the effective annual rate. So let us assume principal value as 100. Okay, let us assume the principal value as 100, because it is easy to apply any of the percentage thing on 100. So if the principal value is 100, how much will be the amount payable half yearly with a rate of interest of 3%? Let us find out this first. So amount formula is always p into 1 plus r over 100 to the power t, that is the time value. If we apply this, the principal value is 100 into 1 plus the rate value will be applicable as 3 by 100 to the power time value will be 2. Why the time value is 2? Because it is compounded half yearly and the total time is of a year. So in a year, how many half years comes? So there are 2 half years come in a year. So that's why the time value has been taken as 2. Okay, had the interest would have been compounded quarterly, then we would have taken 4 here, because in a year there are 4 quarters available. But here the compounding is done half yearly only, and in a year you receive 2 half years. So that's why this power is taken as 2. So if we solve this together, then this comes out to be ultimately 106.09. Okay, so the compound interest can be calculated always as amount minus principal, that is 6.09. So this is the compound interest which you are receiving if you compound the things half yearly, and in 2 steps the total amount or total interest is calculated. But if you want to have the same rate of interest in one go, so how much you would have to keep the rate of interest value as? For a case of principal being 100, you will just keep 6.09, so that by having a single calculation you can directly reach to 106.09. So that is what is called the effective rate of interest, that instead of going in two steps, if you want to achieve the same rate of interest in one go, how much should be the change in the interest? So the change in the interest can be, that is effective rate of interest can be nothing but this 6.09% only, because this will only take me directly to the 106.09 instead of going like 3% and 3% twice. So that is what is effective rate of interest is actually 6.09, and that is the right answer available in option number A. Okay. Find the amount received by Swapnil for rupees 7,500. So clearly principal value is 7,500 at 12% rate per annum. So the rate value is 12% for 2 months compounded monthly. Okay. It is being compounded monthly. So the time factor is 2 months, or we can write it as 2 by 12 of a year, because the formulas are always in the year. So we can write it as 2 by 12 years, because one year has got 12 months. So how many years are there in 2 months is obviously 2 by 12 years. Okay. And the great thing to note is compounded monthly. It is compounded monthly. So in a period of 2 months, how many compounding of monthly is possible? If after a month, compounded annually means after every month things are getting compounded. So if things are getting compounded after every month and you have got a tenure of 2 months only, then how many times the compounding will be done? Compounding will be done 2 times. So that's what will be used as the power of the formula of compound interest. The power will be used as 2. Principal is 7,500. Rate is also given. Time is also given. We are just supposed to find out the amount received. So we have a simple formula for amount received, that is P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power T. Here, the rate of interest is given as 12% per annum. Rate of interest is given as 12% per annum. This is of annual rate of interest. But what he is doing is, he is just compounding it for monthly. He is compounding it monthly. That means if 12 months rate of interest is 12%, what is rate of interest of 1 month? So rate of interest of 1 month will be simply R by 12. So we calculate this for monthly. So that is amount value is principal is 7,500. 1 plus the rate value will be divided by 12, because per year's rate of interest is 12%. So 1 month rate of interest will be simply R by 12, and the R value was 12. 12 by 12, that will be the actually rate of interest used, divided by 100 to the power is 2, because for this has to be accumulated 2 times. Okay. So if we solve this together, this is coming out to be 7,500 101 over hundreds whole square. Okay. If you calculate it approximately, otherwise it will come in the decimal part. If you calculate this approximately, this is reaching to rupees 7,650. So that is the actual amount you will receive if the things are compounded monthly for 2 months with the principal givens, and it is available in option number A, rupees 7,650, and that is the right answer. Okay, question number 7. Madhav lent rupees 1,000 to his friend at 10% per annum compound interest on a condition that he will double the money at the end of each year. Find the actual rate of interest charged by Madhav. Okay, so what he is doing, he initially the principal value that is there is 1,000 rupees, and 1,000 rupees, and then he says the Madhav lent 1,000 to his friend at 10% compound interest. So if it has been given at 10% compound interest, so 1,000 plus 10% of 1,000, 10% of 1,000 is nothing but 100. So 1,000 plus 10% of 1,000 is nothing but 1,000 plus 100, that is 1,100 rupees. So after 1 year, the amount that is to be paid is 1,100. Okay, amount that is to be paid is 1,100. Then what he has said, that he will double the money at the end of each year. So after first year, the money has become 1,100, and now he will double it. So if he will double it, the money will become from 1,100 to 2,200. Double of 1,100 is 2,200. So after the first year, the money had become from 1,000 to 1,100, and then it was doubled as written in the question also. So 1,100 has been doubled to 2,200. Now again, 2,200, there will be a 10% interest applicable, as they say in the initial thing only, the rate of interest is 10% per annum. So 2,200's 10% will be nothing but 220 rupees. So this 220 rupees will be added to 2,200 to give you the new amount, that is 2,420 rupees. Now this is the end of the second year. Again, the same logic applies, that after every year he doubles the money. So this 2,420 will again be doubled, and that will become double of 2,420 is nothing but rupees 4,840. So at the end of second year, the amount has been doubled to 4840. Again, there will be a 10% interest applicable. Okay, as promised in the scheme. So 10% of 4840 is nothing but rupees 484, and that will be added to the principal to give you the new particular principal amount, that is rupees 5324. Okay, again the year has ended, so he will again double it. If he doubles it, it becomes how much? It becomes 10,648. So we can say after 3 years and consistently adding the 10% and doing the doubling thing, the value of principal 1000 has reached to 10,648. Okay, by this scheme, the principal value invested 1000 has become to the 10,648. So we can take principal as 1000 and the amount value as 10,648. Okay, then we can apply the formula that amount is equal to principal into 1 plus r over 100 to the power time. Amount value that has become now with the scheme is 6048, 10,648, and the principal value was 1000. 1 plus the rate value he wants us to calculate. So let the r be unknown, divided by 100 and to the power. In how many years this has been possible? This has been possible in 3 years or three successive steps. So that's why the power is taken as 3. Okay, let us bring this 10,000, 1000 in the denominator on the left hand side. This will become 1 plus r over 100 to the power 3. So what we're going to do here, we will try to make a power of 3 on the left hand side also, so that the power and power gets cancelled and we can get the answer in the bracket part. So to make the power of 3, let us just cut this first. So if we cut this by let us cut this by some value. Okay, so we can cut this by 4 also, 8 also can cut it. So if we cut it by some value, then ultimately this will reach out to 11 by 5's whole cube. Okay, 11 by 5's whole cube will be 1 plus r over 100 to the power 3. Okay, now these 3 and 3 gets cancelled because they are on the both the side, they are available on both the sides. So this 3 and 3 gets cancelled. So ultimately I receive 11 by 5 is equal to 1 plus r over 100, and if I solve for r, the r value is coming out to be 120%. So that's what they were asking for. What is the rate of interest? Rate of interest is nothing but 120%, which is available in option number C, and is the right answer. Now, a bacteria grows by 10% in the first 2 hours, then decrease by 10% in the next 2 hours. If the original count of bacteria is 10,000, find the count of bacteria after 4 years, 4 hours. So this can be treated as a compound interest question only, in which some value which is 10,000 is growing successively in every hour at a different rate. As they say, the bacteria grows 10% in the first 2 hours. In the first 2 hours, the rate of growth is 10%, and then decrease by 10% next 2 hours. In next 2 hours, it is decreasing by 10%. So we can use the different rate of interest formula, that is amount is equal to p into 1 plus r over 100. Then this may be going for second year, two successive hours, and they say grows, so that's why the plus sign has been used. Then you say then decrease by 10% in the next 2 hours, so we can, for the decrement part, we can have minus sign r by 100, and this has also happened for 2 hours, so this is 2 hours. So we can use this formula. First part will be for the growing part, and the second part will be used for the decrement part. Okay, for the decreasing part. Okay, so let us put the values. Amount value will be nothing but the ultimate bacteria count. Okay, so the ultimate bacteria count can be solved as the initial bacteria count was 10,000. 1, initially there was a growth, so we have used a plus sign. The rate of interest was 10% initially for 2 hours, so that's why the power is 2. Then for the next 2 hours there was decrement, so that's why minus sign being used. 1 minus the rate of interest, rate of decrement was 10% again, so 10 by 100, and this also happened for 2 hours, so that's why 2 has to be used again. If we solve this further, this comes out to be 10,000 into 10 by 100 is 1 by 10. 10 plus 1 is 11 by 10 whole square. Then again 11 by 10s, it is going to be rather 9 by 10 to the power 2. And if we solve this further, this is ultimately coming out to be 121 into 81, that is nothing but 9801. So the ultimate bacteria count after 4 such hours is started from 10,000 will be 9,801, and that is available in option number B, and is going to be the right answer. Okay, let us go for the next one. Find the difference for 1 year in compound interest on a sum of rupees 880 at 6% per annum compounded half yearly and annually. So what they are asking for is we are supposed to find out the first we will be trying to find out the compound interest compounded half yearly and compounded annually. Then we'll find out the difference of both the schemes. Okay, in one scheme the interest is being compounded half yearly. In another scheme the interest is compounded annually. We have to find out both the compound interest and then we have to find out the difference of it. So let us do it one by one. Let us try to find out the compounding done annually. Let us do it for compounding done annually. When the compounding is done annually, we do not change any rate of interest, we do not change any time. Okay, so if it is done compounded annually, then how it going to be? Okay, so the compound interest value is always principal into 1 plus rate of interest by 100 to the power time minus principal. Okay, the things being compounded annually, principal that is given to us is 880, rate value is given to us as 6%. So let us use this. So it is going to be 880 1 plus rate value is 6 upon 100 as it is compounded annually and it is done for 1 year. The time value is given as 1 year. So power will be used as just 1 minus 880 because that is the principal value. If we solve this further, this is coming out to be 932.8 minus 880, which is ultimately 52.8. So this is the compound interest when compounded annually. Value is 52.8. Let us find out the compound interest when compounded semi-annually. Okay, when compounded semi-annually or half yearly, semi-annually or half yearly when it is done. So when this happens, then we divide our rate by 2. Okay, and the time is calculated by the same manner. If it is divided for, if it is compounded for if it is compounded half yearly and the total time is a year, then how many half yearly spans are there in a year? There are two such spans. So time value that will be used is t, because if you compound half yearly, if you compound the interest half yearly, then in a year, how many half years are falling? There are two half years falling. So that's why that power will be used as 2. So now the formula is this again the same. Principal value is 880 again. 880 again. 1 plus rate will be halved. Initially the rate was 6%. For half yearly it will be 6 by 2. That is 3 will be taken. Power divided by 100 and power will be 2. Okay, as explained for the power situation, and minus principal that is 880. If we solve this further, this comes out to be 933.592 minus 880, which is coming out to be ultimately 53.592. So this is the compound interest when compounded half yearly. They were asking us to find out the difference between compound interest annually and compound interest half yearly. If you subtract that, you're going to get the difference value as 53.592 minus 52.8, which comes out to be ultimately 0.792. So that is the difference that they were asking for. The difference is 0.792 and which is available in option number B and is the right answer. Okay, let's have the next one. Divide the sum of rupees 15,494 between A and B so that A's share at the end of 9 years may be equal to B's share at the end of 11 years. Compound interest being 20% per annum, then A's share is. Okay, so we can treat this as a compound interest question again. They say there are two parts to be done of the sum 15,494. So let us distribute it. Let us call it, let us A's share is, okay, the share of A is, let's say, X rupees. Then the share of B's will be how much? Total sum is 15,494. So the B share will be how much? 15,494 minus X. This is how the 15,494 has been divided between two individuals. Okay, now we are supposed to find out the share of each. Okay, so as they say, A share at the end of 9 years to be calculated. Okay, and the rate of interest is 20% per annum. Okay, rate has been given as 20% and A's share to be calculated for 9 years. Okay, so let us calculate the A's amount. Okay, let us calculate the A's amount. A's amount going to be similarly used as formula P into 1 plus R over 100. Okay, so we're going to use this. So A's amount will be, the A's principal is X, 1 plus A's percentage is, or the both's percentage is 20 only. And they say us to calculate this for 9 years. So the time value will be 9. If you solve this, if you simplify this rather first, then 20 by 100 is going to be 1 by 5. So it's going to be 6 by 5. So X into 6 by 5 to the power 9. That is the A's amount. Similarly, let us find out the B's amount. If you want to calculate the B's amount, how it going to be? The B's principal is 15,494 minus X. That is the principal value for B. 1 plus rate percent is again 20% for the B also. That is 20 by 100. And the time for B is, they say B should be calculated for 11 years. So the time value here is 11. If you simplify this further, this comes out to be 15,494 minus X to the power 1 plus 20 by 100 is again going to be 6 by 5 to the power 11. So these are the two things that we get. Now, they say if you do this, then A's amount is equal to B's amount. Okay, that's what they had said. If you calculate both the amounts, for A it is 9 years and for B it is 11 years, then the A's amount and B's amount will be equal. So let us equate A's amount and B's amount. If we do that, then it's on the left hand side will be A's amount, that is X into 6 by 5 to the power 9 will be going to be 15,494 minus X into 6 by 5's power 11th, because that is the B's amount. Okay, so we can cut the values of 6 by 5 to the power 9 on the other side with power 11. So the simple version is X into 15,494 minus X, and from 11 9 powers have gone, so only 2 power would have left out. 6 by 5 square, that is nothing but 36 by 25. If you solve this further, this comes out to be 15,494 into 36 by 25 minus 36 by 25x. Okay, if we solve this further, this comes out to be 25x, because 25 is in the denominator, so that will come on the right side, on the left hand side. 25x is equal to 5,57,4 784 minus 36x. If you solve this further, the x value is coming out to be 9144, and the x value was nothing but A's share. So we can write A's share is simply what? Rupees 9,144. So that is what is A's share as was asked in the question. So the answer is option number D, 9,414. Okay. They say the difference between the simple interest and compound interest at the same rate for rupees 5,000 for 2 years is 72. The rate of interest per and percent per annum is. Okay. So what they are asking for, that the principal value is 5,000 rupees. The rate of interest is to be calculated, and they have compared two schemes. Okay. One scheme is simple interest. If you go for this, then the simple interest uh, can also be calculated, and compound interest can also be calculated. The time value is 2 years for both of them. They say for this scheme, the difference of compound interest minus simple interest for 2 years with the principal given as 5,000, the difference between CI and SI is coming out to be rupees 72. Okay, this is what they have asked. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna find out the difference of compound interest and simple interest. One way of doing it, which is a longer way rather, is to find out the simple interest value first, then compound interest value first, and in terms of R it will be, because R is unknown, and then finding out the difference, and making that difference equal to 72. This could be one way of doing it. Otherwise, we can do it by another way also. What is that another way? The difference. Let us see the another way. Difference of compound interest minus simple interest, okay, for 2 years. This particular formula that is being given is only applied for 2 years. Okay, difference of compound interest and simple interest for 2 years for same principal. Okay, for same principal is, the difference is equal to P into R by 100 whole square. So this formula can be used, but the only constraint is the time value for this situation should be 2 years only. So difference of 2 years can be given like that. Difference of 2 years between compound interest and simple interest can be calculated directly using this formula. The condition being the difference is only for 2 years. If it is for 3 years, then this formula is not applicable, and the principal value should be same. So if we apply this formula, then we can do the things easily. So difference value is already given to be 72. Principal value is already given to be 5,000. R value is unknown, R by hundreds whole square. So we just need to solve this thing. If we solve this thing, how much this comes out to be? 72 is equal to 5,000 into R square by 10,000, because 100 square is 10,000. This 10,000 can be cut by 5,000 by 2. So R square value is coming out to be 144, which gives R as root of 144, which is nothing but 12%. So that is the right answer. The rate of interest value is 12%, and which is available in option number B. If somebody doesn't want to go with this formula, then the another leg that is possible, the another way you can do it is find out the simple interest first in terms of rate of interest R, find out the compound interest in terms of rate of interest R, then subtract and then make it equal to 72. But in that situation, there could be a quadratic equation formed, which is a lengthy way of doing the question like that. So this is a good way of doing, and the answer has reached in no time. Okay. In how many years does a sum rupees 57,200 amount to 63,063 at 10.25% per annum compounded annually? Now, the principal value is given. Principal value is giving out to be 57,200. The final value is given out to be 63,063. Rate of interest value is giving out to be 10.25%. Okay, compounded annually. We are supposed to find out the time value. So the time value is unknown. So we have a simple formula for amount. We're going to use that again. Amount is equal to P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power time. Amount value is already given out to be 63,063 is equal to principal value is 57,200. 1 plus the rate value is already given out to be 10.25 over 100, and it is compounded annually, and the time value are we are supposed to find out. So this is what is the equation. Okay, so what we can do, we can just bring this 57 to 1200 on the left hand side. So this will give us 63,063 divided by 57 to 2200 is equal to 1 plus 10.25. If we solve this further, this is going to be 100 plus 10.25. If we cut the decimal part, this comes out to be 441 upon 400. Okay, this comes out to be 441 upon 400 to the power t. If we simplify the left hand side, what we are supposed to do, if in the bracket we can bring 441 upon 400 and we can compare the powers, then the things will be solved. So this is becoming like 441 upon 400 to the power 1 on the left hand side, because things can be cut. Both the numbers can be cut easily. If we cut them, the simplest form comes out to be 441 divided by 400, and on the right hand side is simply 441 divided by 400 to the power t. So if we compare the brackets values, then obviously the t value can be written as 1. So that's what is the answer. Time is 1 year. So that's what is the answer. It will be done. This particular thing will be done in the first year itself, and answer is option number B, 1 year. 13. What would be the compound interest on rupees 3,200 at 25% per annum for 3 years? So this is going to be a simple question. Okay, the formula for compound interest can be used, and formula for the amount can also be used. Okay, if we're supposed to find out the amount value, then amount value is going to be principal into 1 plus R over 100 to the power n. So let us find out the amount value. Amount value is 3,200. 1 plus rate value is 25 over 100 to the power time value is 3. If we solve this further, this comes out to be 3,200 into 1 plus 1 by 4, 1 plus 1 by 4 to the power 3, which is nothing but 3,200 into 4 plus 1. So it's 5 by 4 to the power 3. So this will be the amount value. We can solve this till the last also, but we are supposed to find out the compound interest. So we are not interested in amount anymore. Compound interest is amount minus principal. So we can put the amount value as this whole as a part. Okay, so the compound interest is nothing but 3,200 5 by 4 whole cube minus 3,200 only is the principal value, in which 3,200 can be taken common. So if we take this common, this is going to be 5 by 4's whole cube minus 1. If we solve this further, the ultimate value is 3,200 into 5 by 4 whole cubes minus 1 will ultimately give us 61 divided by 64. Okay, if we cut these numbers, 32 2 are 64, and this is going to be 3,200, so it is 100. So it is 61 into 50, which comes out to be rupees 3050. So that is the actual compound interest. Okay, the compound interest value is coming out to be 3,050 rupees. Okay, that is available in option number C, and is the right answer. Okay, now they say a man borrows 7,50,000 to build a house. He pays compound interest at 12% per annum. So we can say the principal value is 7,50,000. Okay, that is what has been borrowed, and rate of interest is given as 12% per annum. Okay, he lends out the house and receive rupees 25,000 per month as rent. Then he lends it to someone Okay, as the question says, a man borrows rupees 7,50,000 to build a house. He pays compound interest at 12%. So clearly the principal value is 7,50,000 rupees and the rate percent is nothing but 12% per annum. Okay, he lends out the house and receives rupees 25,000 per month as rent. So has given his house to rent and per month he is receiving 25,000 as a rent. Okay, from the total rent collected during the year, he pays out the yearly installment. Okay, after 2 years, how much is the amount he has to pay? Okay, so first of all, we want to calculate the total amount due to him as a loan. So amount formula is simply P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power time, and principal value is 7,50,000. 1 plus rate value is 12, so it's going to be 12 by 100 to the power. Time is, they say, after 2 years, so the time will be taken as 2. Okay, if we solve this out further, this becomes 7,50,000 into 112 square over 100 square, and this finally comes out to be rupees 9,40,800. So this is the total amount that he has to pay. Okay, now let us talk about the rent. How much rent he is getting? He is getting 25,000 rent per month. So the rent for 2 years, we need to calculate the rent for 2 years that he would have received. Rent for 2 years that he would have received will be, 2 years will have got 24 months. So there will be 25,000 multiplied by 24. Okay, that will actually give you rupees 6 lakh. Okay, so this much would have, he would have received as rent from the as he lent it out. So now what they ask is, he pays out the real installment after 2 years, how much is the amount he has to pay? So after 2 years, he in actual he was to pay 9,40,800 rupees, and in these 2 years he has gained 6 lakh rupees. So how much to be paid by him? Okay, amount to be paid by him is, amount to be paid by him will be nothing but the difference of these two, that is 9,40,800 minus 6 lakh, and that value comes out to be nothing but, 3,40,800 rupees. So that is the actual amount to be paid by him after the 2 years have completed, and this particular value is available in the option number A. So that is going to be the right answer. Next, what would be the compound interest obtained on amount of rupees 7,640? So obviously the principal value is given out to be 7,640 at the rate of 15% annum. So the rate value is given as 15% per annum on and after 2 years. So the time value is given as nothing but 2 of years. Okay, so we can simply use the amount formula and then we can find out the compound interest. So amount formula is simply P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power T. So the principal value we know is 7,640. 1 plus rate value is given out to be 15 divided by 100, and the time value is 2. If we calculate this further, this comes out to be 10,103.9 rupees. Okay, let us calculate the compound interest. Compound interest is always amount minus principal. So that is what is the amount, 10,103.9 rupees minus the principal value was 7,640. If you solve this together, this comes out to be rupees 2463.9. So that is the actual compound interest that he has gained. So the compound interest value is 2463.9, which is available in option number D, 2463.9, and that is the right answer. Okay. The difference between the simple interest and compound interest on a certain sum of money at 5% per annum for 2 years is 160. Okay. So as they say, the rate percent value is 5% and the time value is 2 years. Okay, we are supposed to find out the principal. Principal is unknown. And see the difference between CI and SI, that is simple interest and compound interest, they have given as rupees 160. So for 2 years particularly, if you want to calculate the difference between CI and SI, that is compound interest minus simple interest for 2 year duration. Okay, when the principal is same. Okay, there is a formula available for this situation. When you want to calculate the compound interest minus simple interest, that is the difference of compound interest and simple interest for 2 year duration specifically, and the principal amount is same, that the formula is P into R by 100 whole square. So that is what is the direct formula for finding out the finding out the difference. Okay, and difference is already given to us, so we can use this formula. So for difference, we'll keep 160 as part of principal. Principal is unknown. Rate value they have given out to be 5 divided by 100 whole square. So we need to solve this for the value of principal. Okay, let us solve this. So it is going to be 160 is equal to P into 5 by 100 is 1 by 20. So it is 1 by 400. Okay, and this way the principal value comes out to be 400 into 160. That is nothing but 6,64,000. Okay, 64,000. That is the principal value coming. So the option available A is the right answer. Mind you that this particular formula for difference of compound interest and simple interest is available only for the time duration is 2 years and the principal should be same. Okay, so question number 17. They say find the interest received by Lata's father if he deposited rupees 35 lakh for 2 years, 6% compounded annually. So obviously the principal value is 35 lakh rupees. The time value is 2 years, as they say. What else? The rate of interest per annum is 6% per annum. Okay, and compounding is done annually. So there is a direct formula which will give us the amount first, and then we can subtract that. And so we can use a direct formula for compound interest also, which is nothing but principal into 1 plus r over 100 to the power time. So this is actually the amount. This is actually the amount only minus principal, that is P itself. Okay, so we can directly use this. So let us have the principal value as 35 lakh. 1 plus rate value is 6%. So 6 by 100 whole square minus 35 lakh again. Okay, if you solve this equation further, this comes out to be 35 lakh can be taken common out of it. If you take it common, this is nothing but 106 over hundreds whole square and minus 1 because 35 lakh was taken common. If you solve this further, then this is ultimately coming out to be 35 lakh multiplied by 1236 divided by 10,000. Okay, because there is a square, and if you solve this further, this comes out to be rupees 4,32,600 rupees. Okay, 4,32,600 rupees, and that is the actual compound interest that is available with us, and it is available as option number A, 4,32,600 rupees. Okay. Find the amount received by Radhika if she lends rupees 1680 for 1 year at 20% compound interest. Clearly, the principal value is 1680. Rate value is simply 20% and it is compounded annually. And the time value is simply 1 year. Okay. So for 1 year, the simple interest and compound interest also remain same. So we can use any of the formulas. So let us use the formula of compound interest only, which is amount is equal to P into 1 plus r over 100 to the power t. Okay, we have all the values over there, so we'll put the values. 1680 plus rate value is 20 divided by 100 to the power t. Time is 1, so for time we're going to keep as 1. Okay, but the situation here is they have not mentioned compounded annually, rather they have said compounded quarterly. This would have been the situation if the things would have compounded annually. Okay, if this would have been the situation when the thing would have compounded annually, but they say the compounding is not done annually, rather the compounding is done quarterly. So what do we do when compounding is done quarterly? So whenever the compounding is quarterly, quarterly means 1 by 4 of a year. So if the compounding is done quarterly, rate is changed to rate by 4 because the compounding is done 1 by 4th time of a year. So rate is also done 1 by 4. Okay, so the new value of rate for the compounding for the quarterly compounding will be 20 by 4, that is 5%. Okay, and what do we do with the time? The time is changed to 4 times of t. Why we do that? Because quarterly compounding means compounding after every 3 months. And how many 3 months duration are falling in a year? There are 4 such durations, so that's why we multiply that with 4. So now we're not going to use the compounded annually thing. We're going to use the compounded quarterly thing. And that there is a formula again we can bring in the scene. So it's going to be amount is equal to principal value. The principal value is 1680 multiplied by 1 plus the rate value. New rate value for the quarterly scene will be taken as 5. That was 20 by 4 divided by 100 as it is, and power will be 4. Okay, because 1 year duration has got 4 quarter periods. So that's why the power becomes 4. And if you solve this further, this comes out to be 1680 multiplied by 21 by 20 to the power 4, and further it comes out to be rupees 2042. So that is the actual amount that will it become after 1 year compounded quarterly, and which is available in option number C, 2042. Now, at what rate will height of a tree become 648.96 centimeter from 600 centimeter in a period of 2 years compounded annually? So 600 is the original height, so that can be treated as principal value, the first value. 648.96 is the final height, so that can be treated as amount, the final amount. Okay, and time is given out to be 2 years only, and that compounding is done annually, and rate value we have to find out. Okay, so the simple formula of compound interest can be used for this also, and which can find us the rate value. So the simple formula of amount is P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power T. Okay, here the amount value can be treated as the required height, the final height. The principal is the original height. 1 plus rate value is unknown, so divided by 100 to the power time value is nothing but 2. So we are supposed to solve this. Let us bring this 600 on the left hand side. If we do that, 648.96 divided by 600 is equal to 1 plus R over 100 whole square. So what we can do in such type of question is that on the right hand side there is a square power involved. So if on the left hand side we can make square of anything, so the power 2 and 2 gets cancelled, and whatever remains inside is compared with each other, and then the R value can be found out. Instead of making the quadratic equation, we can do it like this. So what we can do to make the square cancel, see in the denominator we have got 100 square on the right hand side. So if I can make anyhow 10,000 on the left hand side also, which is that is the 100 square, then the things will be easy. To make the left hand side as 10,000, I need to multiply both the numbers, the numerator and the denominator, by 100. If we do that, it becomes 648.96. That will remove the decimal on the numerator also. 648.96 divided by 600 and double zero more, it becomes 1 plus R over 100 whole square. Okay, if we take this further on here, then these two numbers can be cut by 6. If we cut these two numbers by 6, it on the left hand side we receive 10,816 divided by 10,000 is equal to 1 plus R by 100's whole square. Now, the denominator 10,000 is the square of 100, and the numerator 10,816 is the square of 104. So this left hand side can be written as 104 by 100's whole square is equal to 1 plus R over 100's whole square. So now these 2 and 2, the power 2 and 2 gets cancelled with each other. So we left out with 104 by 100 is equal to 1 plus R over 100, and if we solve this further, this gives us the R value as simply 4%. So that is what was the required rate per percent required. R value comes out to be 4% as the answer, and that is the answer available in option number D. Okay. Find the value of a building 3 years after construction if its value depreciates. Depreciate means it decreases at 5% and 8% for the first 2 years. So for the first year, it depreciates, it decreases by 5%. Whatever value is left out after that, then another 8% of that is reduced for the second year, but appreciated by 25% in the third year. So in the third year, there's a growth of 25%. So we can take this as 3 successive years. One has got a depreciation, so R1 will take as minus 5%. Second year will have 8% depreciation again, so R2 will take as minus 8%. And third year there will be a appreciated by 25%, so we'll take as plus 25%. So these are the 3 rate of interest that can be applied to the principal value for the time of 3 year. Okay, the present value of the building is given as 6 crores. So that means the present value will be treated as principal. So value after 3 years. Okay, so value after 3 years can be taken as amount only, can be calculated by the original amount. So that is P 1 plus, rather 1 minus, for the first case it is 1 minus 5 by 100. Then it will be 1 minus 8 by 100, and the final will be 1 plus 25 by 100. So this is how we're going to solve this. So let us find out the value after 3 years. So the present value is 6 crore. So this is 6 crores. 1 minus 5 by 100. For the first year, there's a 5% decrease. For the second year, there's a 8% decrease. So 1 minus 8 by 100. And in the third year, there is a 25% increase. So 25 by 100. If you solve this further, This comes out to be 60 multiplied by 95 multiplied by 92 multiplied by 125. If we multiply all these numbers, this actually becomes 65 crores 55 lakh rupees. 65 crore 55 lakh rupees. So that is the ultimate value after 3 years of two successive depressions and then an increment of 25,000, 25%. So that this particular option is available. Right answer is available in option number A and is the right answer. Now, a certain amount of money at compound interest grows to 12,500. So if it is the grown up amount, so this has to be treated as an amount in 18 years. So the time value is 18 years earlier, and in 14,000 in 19 years. So the next amount value is, so we can take the first amount value is A1, second amount value is A2. So after 18 years, it has grown to 12,500, and in 19 years, it has grown to 14,000. Find the rate of interest per annum. So what we can say, the growth, how much is the growth value? Growth value is nothing but amount after 19 years minus amount after 18 years. So this is the growth value, which is nothing but 14,000 minus 12,500. So this is the amount of that has been grown, and which is 1,500 rupees. So 1,500 rupees has been the growth. Now they say find the rate of interest per annum. So rate of interest per annum will be nothing but growth value over the previous value. So the previous value was 12,500. The previous value, because this growth has happened after 12,500, so the percentage of rate will be calculated, or the percentage of growth should be calculated over 12,500 only. That's why the denominator of 12,500 is taken, multiplied by 100. Okay, so if you do this, so the rate of interest can be calculated by the growth value is 1,500, and this 1,500 growth has been achieved over a value of 12,500. So we need to solve this like this into 100%. Okay, if we solve this, this is actually coming out to be 120% of growth, or the rate of interest is nothing but 120%, available in option number B, and is the right answer. Now, a tree was planted for 2 years ago. Its present height is 64 centimeter. With the proper nutrition, it starts growing at a rate of 50% per annum. Calculate the time taken to reach its maximum height, that is 729 centimeters. So these are all the things given. So the maximum height can be taken as the final value. Okay, so the final value is nothing but 729. Okay, the original value is nothing but the principal that can be treated as, that is nothing but 64 centimeter. That was the original value. Okay, then the time value we are supposed to find out, as they say, calculate the time taken. So the time value is unknown for us. Okay, that we are supposed to find out, and rate of interest or the growth of the tree is 50% per annum. So every year it grows to 50%. So let us find out. So the final value can be taken as original value into 1 if there is a growth. So rate divided by 100 to the power time. So the final value is given as 729. Original value is 64. 1 plus there is a growth of 50% every year. So for 50 by 100, and the time value is unknown. If we solve this further, this is 729 by 64 on the left hand side. On the right hand side is 1 plus 50 by 100 is nothing but 1 by 2. 1 plus 1 by 2 is nothing but 3 by 2. So it's going to be 3 by 2 to the power t. So if we on the left hand side can make somehow 3 by 2 itself, then power of that will be compared with t, and t will be that only. So 729 by 64, if you want to write in terms of 3 by 2, is simply 3 by 2 to the power 6. As you can see, 3 to the power 6 is 729, 2 to the power 6, 64. So 3 by 2 to the power 6 is the exact replacement of 729 by 64. So on the right hand side, there is also 3 by 2 to the power t. So if we compare these two, the t value comes out to be 6. So t value comes out to be 6, which is available in option number D, and is the right answer. Next, the compound interest on 2,500 at the rate of 6% per annum after 2 years will be, clearly the principal value is 2,500, rate percent is 6%, rate percent is 6% per annum, and the time value given is 2 years. So we can use the simple formula of amount or compound interest also. So let us use the formula for compound interest, which is nothing but amount, which is nothing but P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power T minus P. So let us solve this. Principal value is 2,500. 1 plus rate value is 6 by 100 to the power, it was calculated for 2 years, minus the principal value is again 2,500. So if we solve this solve this further, the 2500 can be taken common. So 1 plus 6 by 100 is going to be 3 by 50. Okay, if we solve this, this is going to be 53 by 50. So, and 53 square is 2809 divided by 50 square is 2500 minus 1 because the 2500 was taken common. So if we solve this further, this comes out to be 2500 into 309 by 2500. Okay, so this is ultimately coming out to be just 309. So that is the right answer. Rupees 309 will be the exact compound interest for this scheme, and this is available in option number A is the right answer. Now, Mr. Das invested 87,500 at 10% compound interest. So clearly the principal value is 87,500. Okay, the rate of interest given is 10% per annum. Income tax at the rate of income tax at the rate of 20% is levied at the end of each year. So whatever they earn after a year, 20% of that is taken by the as an income tax to the government. So that is a reduction actually. So what is actually happening is, suppose the principal value would have been 100. Let us take an example. Suppose the principal value would have been 100. So what would have had happened after a year? Over that 100 rupees, he would have gained 10%. Okay, over that 100%, he would have gained 10% over a year. That is nothing but 110. So the ultimate value would have become 110, but the interest earned would have been 10 rupees only. Okay, over 100, the if the 10% scheme is applicable, so over 100 you would have gained 10 rupees only, but 20% of this 10 rupees you have to pay to the government as an income tax. So what is 20% of 10 rupees? 20% of 10 rupees is nothing but 2 rupees. So this 2 rupees has to go to government. So this is not staying with you. 10 rupees you are earning and 2 rupees you are giving to government. This is happening in a year. So actually you are having 8 rupees in your hand. So if the principal value is 100, you are actually gaining 8 rupees in a year. So that is actually 8% of it. Okay, so the effective annual growth is 8% because you are gaining 10%, that is 10 rupees, and you are giving to the income tax department as 2 rupees. So the actual effective growth that you are having is 8 rupees out of 100. So that is 8%, that is equivalent to 8%. So we can conclude that ultimately he is every time the actual effective rate is 8%, not 10%, because 10 after doing the 10% growth, you have to return the 20% of it. So actual effective rate of interest that will be used as 8%. Now we can use the simple amount formula, that is principal into 1 plus r over 100 to the power time. So it will be principal values as given 87,500. 1 plus effective rate that is actually coming in the scene is 8% to the power. He has asked for 3 years. So there will be power as 3. If you solve this further, this comes out to be 87,500 multiplied by 1 plus 8 over 100, that is 4 by 25, rather 2 by 25, and this is equal to 27 by 25 to the power 3. Okay, if we solve this further, this comes out to 1,10,225. Okay, 1,10,225. So this is the actual amount that he is going to collect after paying the income tax also, and this amount is available in option number C and is the right answer. Okay, a certain sum of money is lent at 25% per annum compound interest. What is the ratio of increase in amount at fifth year and sixth year? So they are asking for increase in amount ratio for fifth year and sixth year. So we are supposed to find out amount for 5 year divided by amount to 6 year. So this ratio they are looking for. Simply the formula is P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power 5. For the amount of 5 years, the power will be used as 5. For the amount of 6 year, the power will be used as 1 plus r over 100 to the power 6. So this is what we are supposed to do. Okay, so clearly if you put the values like this, then obviously this p and p gets cancelled, and numerator has got 5 power, denominator has got 6 power. So 1 power will be left out in the denominator only if you cut the thing. So it is actually equal to 1 over 1 plus r over 100. So the ultimate ratio that we have to calculate is this. So we have got the r value, so we'll put down the values. So the real ratio that is required of a5 and a6 is nothing but 1 over 1 plus the rate value is 25 by 100. Okay, if we solve this, this is nothing but 1 over this is 25 by 100 is 1 by 4. So it's 5 by 4, and it that is actually 5 That is actually 4 by 5, because 1 by 5 by 4 is 4 by 5. So that is what is the ratio 4:5 of A5 is to A6, which is available in option number A, and is the right answer. Okay. What would be the compound interest accrued on an amount of rupees 9,000 at the rate of 11% per annum in 2 years? So clearly the amount value given is 9,000. So 9,000 is actually the grown up amount. Okay. 9,000 is actually the grown up amount. So the amount that has been grown up is 9,000. Okay. Principal value is unknown. Rate percent is 11% per annum. And the time value is given as 2 years. So all these values are given, and we have got a simple formula. So let us use that formula. Amount is equal to P into 1 plus R over 100 to the power T. If we solve this, 9,000 will be the amount, is equal to principal value is unknown, 1 plus rate value is 11 by 100 to the power time value is 2. Okay. If we solve this equation further, this comes out to be is equal to P into 1 plus 11 by 100 is going to be 111 over 100's whole square. Okay, so the P value can be formulated as 9,000 into 100 square divided by 111 square. If you solve this further, this is actually coming out to be rupees 7304.60. So that is the principal value coming. They have asked for the compound interest, and compound interest is always the difference of amount minus principal. Amount value was 9,000. Principal value we have just calculated as 7304.60. If you subtract these two values, we're going to get as 1695.39. So that is the actual interest that is available, 1695.39, and this particular interest is not available in any of the option. So we have to go for option E, that is none of these, and is the right answer. Okay. Now find the difference between compound interest and simple interest on 6250 at 16% per annum compound interest after 2 years. So as in the earlier question we have mentioned, if we want to calculate the compound interest minus simple interest for 2 years, okay, so there can be direct formula used, which is P into R by hundreds whole square. Okay, this is the formula that can be directly used to find out the difference of compound interest and simple interest, condition being principal is same. Okay, principal should be same for both compound interest and simple interest scheme. So this formula can be applicable here, as the principal value is given as 6250 rupees, rate value is given as 16%, and time value is obviously 2 years. Okay, so we are supposed to find out the difference. So difference value is nothing but P value is 6250, R value is 16 by hundreds whole square. So if we solve this further, this comes out to be 6250 into 16 by 100 is nothing but 4 by 25's whole square, which is clearly 6250 into 16 by 625. If we solve this further, the difference is coming out to be 160 rupees. So that is the difference value coming out to be of CI and SI, 160 rupees, and that is available in option number D, and it becomes the right answer for us. Okay. Now, a sum of rupees 64,000 is partly lent at simple interest and the balance at compound interest for a period of 2 years. So what he has said, the total sum of 64,000 has been broken into different parts. Okay. So let us assume the part value. Let's say the part 1 is X, and let's say the part 2 is obviously will be 64,000 minus X. The other part will be 64,000 minus X. So it has been broken into two parts. One is X and another one is 64,000 minus X. Then further he says lent at simple interest and the balance. So the first part is lent at simple interest and the second part is lent at compound interest. So we shall assume something. Let this X part be lent at simple interest and let the other part be lent at compound interest. Okay, we can assume anything. Okay, for a period of 2 years. So the time period that is given is 2 years. Okay, both the cases, rate of interest is 10% per annum. So the rate value as given as 10% per annum for both the scheme, and the total interest earned at the end of 2 years is 13,100. Total interest, that is CI plus SI value is given as 13,100. So these are the value that are available with us. So we are supposed to find out the simple interest by using X. Then we'll be finding out the compound interest using X, and the summation of them, the sum of them will equate it to 30,100. In this way, we'll be able to solve the X value. So let us find out the simple interest. The formula for simple interest is simply P into R into T upon 100. So the simple interest value will be nothing but the principal is X, rate value is 10, time value is 2 upon 100. If you solve this further, this is 10 cuts the 100 by 10, 2 cuts the 10 by 5. So the simple interest comes out to be X by 5. Simple interest comes out to be X by 5. If we solve the compound interest, the formula for compound interest is nothing but amount minus principal, which is treated as B into 1 plus R over 100's whole square minus 1. That is the compound interest formula. So we have got all the values. So principal value is 64,000 minus X. 1 plus rate value is 10 by 100 whole square because the time value is 2 minus 1. Okay, if we solve this equation first, we're going to get the final value as 13. That the final value that is coming out to be is 64,000 minus X, and then in the bracket you are getting 121 by 100 minus 1, which is nothing but, which is coming out to be 13,440 minus 21 over 100 X. So that is the actual compound interest that is coming. So this is the compound interest value and this is the simple interest value. As they say, the sum is 13,100. So now we're going to do the sum of it. That is compound interest plus simple interest should be 13,100. So let us add them together. Simple interest was X by 5 plus compound interest was 13,440 minus 21 by 100 of X is equal to 13,100. So we just supposed to solve this equation. If we start solving, it becomes 20x plus 13,440 minus 21x is equal to 13,100 into 100 because we had taken the 100 as LCM. If we solve this further, this is coming out to be X value is coming out to be 34,000. Okay, X value is 34,000. And what are we supposed to solve in the question is, what is the sum lent at compound interest? So sum lent at compound interest we had assumed to be 64,000 minus X. So we have supposed to subtract this X value. So the sum for compound interest scheme was nothing but 64,000 minus X, and so X value has already come with us. So 64,000 minus 34,000 we're gonna do, which comes out to be 30,000 as the sum lent out for compound interest scheme, and this particular answer is available in option number A. 30,000 is the right answer. Now, Tapan took a loan of rupees 1600 from his friend at 5% simple interest. So obviously the principal value is 1600 and rate of interest is 5% per annum, as they say 5% per annum. Then they say he lent it to Tushar at the same rate but compounded annually. Find his gain after 2 years. Okay. So again, the time value is 2 years. So gain will be nothing but difference. Okay. So gain that he's talking about is difference. The gain will be nothing but a difference of compound interest and simple interest only for 2 years. Okay. So we have got a direct formula for finding out the difference of compound interest and simple interest for 2 years. Okay, the formula is only applicable for 2 years and the formula is P into R by hundreds whole square. And in this formula, the principal value should be same for both CI and SI. Okay, so the difference will be treated as the gain only. Okay, so that difference we are supposed to find out. So this difference is nothing but principal value is 1600, rate value is 5 by hundreds whole square. Okay, if we solve this further, this comes out to be 1600 divided by 5 by 100 is 1 by 20. 20 square is 400, so it's 1 by 400. This 400 can cut this by 4. So the difference is coming out to be 4 and rupees. So compound interest will be 4 rupees more than the simple interest. So that is what is the gain. Gain value is nothing but rupees 4. Okay, so which is available in option number C and is the right answer. Now, the simple interest on a sum of rupees 4,800 for 2 years is 768. So the difference of compound interest and simple interest is given as 768 rupees already. Okay. Simple interest for 2 years is rather not the difference is required. Difference is not given. The simple interest value for 2 years is given as rupees 768. Principal value is given as on a sum of rupees 4,800 is applicable. So principal value is 4,800. The time value is 2 years. Okay. The rate value is unknown. Okay, what will be the compound interest on the same sum at the same rate for the same period? So the simple interest, all the things are given except for the rate percent. So first of all, we will be interested in finding out the rate percent that has been used. Okay, so we have got a direct formula for simple interest is principal into rate into time upon 100. So we have got all the values. Simple interest is 768. Principal value is 4800 into rate value that we are supposed to find out. Time value is given as 2 divided by 100. If you solve this, the R value is coming out to be 8%. So the compound interest was done for 8. Simple interest was done for 8%. Now what they say, what will be the compound interest on the same sum? So the principal will again remain same for compounding interest only, same rate. So the rate value will be as in the simple interest scheme, that is 8%. And for the same period, so the time value will be again used the same as used in simple interest also, that is 2 years. Now we are supposed to find out the compound interest, and that is a simple formula, P into 1 plus R over hundreds power T minus P. Okay, so let us find out. 768 is the principal, rather, 4800 is the principal, not 768. 4800 is the principal value. So it's not 768, 4800. 1 plus rate value is 8 by 100. Time value is t, so power 2 minus 4800 only. If we solve this further, this comes out to be 4800 into 104 by 625, which is nothing but 798.72. 798.72. So that is the actual compound interest on the 4800 rupees with 2 years and 8% as rate of interest, 798.72, and it is available in option number A and becomes the right answer for us. Now, by what percent CI on a certain sum more than that of SI 20% for 2 years? Okay, what they're asking for, that on a certain sum, principal value is unknown and rate value is 20% and time value is 2 years. This is all is given, that by what percent is CI on a certain sum more than SI. Okay, so they are asking for CI is what percent more than the SI. Okay, CI is what percent more than the SI, and they are asking for the percentage value. Okay, so actually they are asking for is CI minus SI over SI into 100%. This is what they're asking, that CI is what percent more than simple interest value for this scheme. So in that case, we are supposed to find out the CI, we are supposed to find the SI, then we'll divide it with SI and multiply it with 100%. So let us do it step by step. First of all, find out the compound interest value. Compound interest formula we already have used multiple times. 1 plus R over hundreds whole square minus P. So let us put the values. Principal value is unknown, so we'll have to use P only. 1 plus rate value is 20 by 100, time value is 2, so square, minus again the principal, so minus P. So the compound interest directly comes out to be 11 by 25 of P. Compound interest comes out to be 11 by 25 of P. Let us go for the simple interest now. Simple interest is principal into rate into time upon 100. That is a simple formula. So for this case, principal is unknown, rate value is 20, time value is 2 upon 100. That is the actual simple interest. If we solve this, 20 cuts 100 by 5, so it comes out to be 2p by 5. Okay, so this is the simple interest and this is the compound interest. Okay, now we can go back to our original thing that we have done. So the required percentage can be found out by using the formula that we have evolved already. So required percentage will be compound interest minus simple interest. That is, compound interest value was p into 11 by 25 minus simple interest value is 2p by 5 divided by simple interest value, that is 2p by 5 again, multiplied by 100%. So this will be the percentage. How much percent is compound interest more than the simple interest? If we solve this further, this is coming out to be p common, taken common in the numerator. So it is 11 by 25 minus 2 by 5 divided by the p in the denominator side can be cut. Okay, 2 by 5 into 100%. Okay, if this solve this further, it comes out to be 5 by 2 into 1 by 25 into 100, which is nothing but 10%. Okay, so how much is compound interest more than simple interest in percentage is simply 10%. Okay, which is available in option number C becomes the right answer. Okay. If the compound interest on a certain sum for 2 years at 4% per annum is 97.92, so the compound interest value is given to us as 97.92. Rate percent is given to us as 4%. Time value is given to us as 2 years. So these are the things given to us. The simple interest on the same sum for the same time and the same rate of interest is supposed to be found out. So the simple interest that we are supposed to find out for the same rate percent, that is 4%, for the same time, that is 2 years, and the principal is unknown. So we are supposed to find out the principal in the first case, and the same principle we're going to use on the second case also for finding out the simple interest. Okay, so we are supposed to find out the principal for the first scheme, that is compound interest scheme. So we have got the formula for compound interest as p into 1 plus r over 100 to the power time minus p. So we already know the compound interest value, that is 97.92 is equal to principal is unknown 1 plus rate value is 4 by 100, time value is 2 minus p again. If we solve this further, this comes out to be 97.92 is equal to P times 51 by 625. Okay, P times 51 by 625. This way the P can be calculated as by multiplying this together, which is coming out to be 1200 rupees. Principal value is coming out to be 1200 rupees. Now the same principal value we're going to use for the simple interest scheme. So the simple interest formula is simply P into R into T upon 100. Okay, so the simple interest, well, this is the formula for simple interest, and the unknown simple interest can be found out by principal value is 1200, rate value is 4, time value is 2 divided by 100. If we solve this further, this is gonna come as 96. So the simple interest value is coming out to be rupees 96, which is available in option number D, and is the right answer. Okay, so the question says, at what rate does rupees 2400 amount to rupees 2646? So obviously this 2400 is principal, 2646 is amount in a period of 2 years. So the time value is 2 years compounded annually. So we have a clear formula of amount, that is P principal 1 plus R over 100 to the power time. So let's put all the values. Amount value is already given 2646. Principal value is giving 2400. 1 plus rate value is unknown. So we are supposed to find out the rate divided by 100 to the power time is 2. So this is the equation that we need to solve. So let us take this to 2400 on the left hand side. If we do that, this is going to be 2646 divided by 2400 is going to be 1 plus r by 100 whole square. Now at this point of time, what we should do, we should try to make the left hand side as a perfect square of something, so that that power 2 and power 2 on the left and right hand side can be cancelled out. So for that we need to see what whose square can be we can make on the left hand side. So if we cut both the numbers by 6, okay, if we cut both the numbers by 6, in the denominator we're going to get 400, and in the numerator we're going to get 441. Okay, so and 441 is a square of 21, and 400 is a square of 20. So we can rewrite this equation as 21 by 20's whole square is equal to all that is on the right hand side, that is 1 plus r over 100's whole square. So now here two squares are there on left hand side and our right hand side, so they can be cancelled. So we are left out with 21 to the power by 20 is 1 plus r over 100. If we solve this equation, we're going to get r value as 5%. So that is the right answer. R value is 5%, rate is 5%, and it is given in option number D. So it becomes the right answer. Okay, 34th. A sum of money at compound interest amounts to thrice itself in 3 years. So the time value is given as 3 years, and they say amounts to thrice itself. That means amount is 3 times the principal. Okay, and in how many years will it become 9 times of itself? So that we're supposed to know. So first of all, we're going to deal with this, that they say the amount is 3 times the principal in 3 years. What is the formula of amount we have? The formula of amount is principal 1 plus r over 100 to the power time. So for amount, we can replace amount as 3p. So 3p is equal to principal is as it is p. Amount has been replaced as thrice of principal. 1 plus r over 100 to the power 3. So here p and p gets cancelled. So 3 is equal to 1 plus r over 100 whole cube. This is what we get. Now in this particular equation, See, what we are supposed to do, he's asking in how many years will it become 9 times. Okay, so look at the power on the right hand side. Okay, the power is 3, and look at the number on the left hand side is 3. So right now this equation is suggesting things, the amount being triple or 3 times. If we want to know what in what time it will become 9 times, so we'll have to make the left hand side as 9. So for making the left hand side as 9, what we have to do, we will have to do the squaring on both sides. So we will have to do squaring both sides, because then only I can make the number 3 on the left hand side to 9. And in doing so, I'll have to do the square on the other side also. Okay. So if we square both sides, then what will it become? It will become 3 square, which is nothing but 9. 1 plus r over 100. Already there was a power 3, and if you do the square of it, there will have to be a square ahead. So now both the squares have been added up. So on the left hand side, I receive 9, which is what I wanted. The amount should become 9 times. And what is I'm getting on the left hand side is 1 plus r over 100. So power, when you make a power over a power, the powers get multiplied. So you have got a power of 2 over 3. So the power have got multiplied. So it has become 6. So this 6 power symbolizes the time value. So clearly the amount will be 9 times of the principal in time is equal to 6 years. Okay, as has already come on the right hand side as a power. So the time value is going to be 6 here, which is available in option number C as an answer. Next, a tree increases annually by 1/8 of its height. What will be its height after 2 years if it stands today at 64 centimeter high? So we can do this question by using the principal amount and compound interest formula only. Okay, here we can say the final height is at a tree increases annually at 1/8 of its height. What will be its height after 2 years? So we need to know the final height. So that means we need to know the amount value. Okay, the final height can be treated as the amount value. And what is the present value? So that is the present height. The present height is already given as 64 centimeter. Okay, what else? The time value is given as 2 years, as they say. Okay, is given as 2 years. What else? They say a tree increases annually 1/8 of its height. Okay, so every time the increment in it is 1/8. So if we have a formula in which amount is equal to P times 1 plus R over 100. So this R over 100 actually tells us the growth value. Okay, so in place of this R over 100, he has given us 1/8. Okay, so R over 100 is actually a fraction in terms of 100, and in terms of this R over 100, he has given 1/8. So R can be taken as 1/8. Okay, in percentage, this is already 12.5%. So if we keep in place of R, we keep 12.5. The 12.5 by 100 is again going to be 1/8. So this R by 100 can be replaced as 1/8 here. So now if we use the formula, the final value is to be decided. So that is unknown. Present value is 64, present height 1 plus, and it is 1/8. And how many times? It is 2 years of time in there. So if you solve this out, this equation, you're going to get 64 into 1 plus 1 by 8 is 9 by 8 whole square. Okay, if you solve this further, this is coming out to be simply 81 centimeters. So after 2 years with the same growth rate, 1/8 of its height, the final height is going to be 81 centimeter, which is available in option number C, and is the right answer. Next, find the population of a town after 3 years. So the time value is given out to be 3 years. If it decreases at 3.2% per annum, so the rate value is minus 3.2%. Okay, due to migration, and present population of the town is 19,53,125. So this can be treated as the present value, or the present population. So we are supposed to know the final population. So that can be treated as the amount value. So we can have the final formula, that is of compound interest only, P1 minus this time, because the rate percent is a depreciation percent. Okay, there has been a decrease, so the rate value has to be taken in minus. So that's why we are supposed to take minus here in place of the plus. 1 minus R over 100 to the power T. This is what we're going to use. So the final population will be nothing but the amount value. Present population is 19,53,125 multiplied by 1 minus the rate value is 3.2 over 100 to the power the time value. The time value is given as 3 years. Okay, so we need to solve this equation further. So let us do it. So it is going to be 19,53,125 for now. And how much is this going to be? It's 3.2 by 100 can be written as 32 by 1000. Okay, and 1 minus 32 by 1000 is going to be your 121 divided by 125 if we cut this finally, and power 3. So now we need to solve this equation further. If we solve this equation further, this is coming out to be actually 121 whole cube, because this 19,53,125 is nothing but the perfect cube of 125. So that will be cut away. So the only thing that is left out is 121's whole cube, and the value of that is 17,71,561. So that is going to be the final answer. 17,71,561 will be the final population if the decrement continues for 3 years, and that is available in option number B, and is the right answer. Okay. Now, they say for obtaining the difference between compound and simple interest on a certain sum of money invested for 3 years at 5% per annum, we must multiply the sum of money by. Okay, so he is actually wanting to calculate the difference between compound interest and simple interest. Okay, he was actually wanting to calculate the difference between compound interest and simple interest. So we have the formula for both. So what we can do is we can find out the difference by using their formulas. The formula for compound interest is obviously P times 1 plus R over 100 to the power T minus P. This is the formula for compound interest, and the formula for compound interest is simply P into R into T upon 100. So we're going to have, if you want to find out the difference between these two, we're going to have to put the values that are already given in the equation, in the problem itself, and then we can find out the multiplier of it. Okay, so let us put the values, and we'll be able to know what should we multiply it with. Okay, the time value is given 3 years. This is the time value. The rate percent is given as 5% per annum. And so sum of money is missing. So we're going to use P as sum of money only. So let us put all the values to find out the difference. Okay, so difference is going to be, okay, so the difference is going to be what? Okay, so let us find out the difference once again. So difference is going to be nothing but P value is unknown. So we'll have to keep as P itself. 1 plus rate value was 5 over 100 to the power time value was 3 minus P itself. Okay, and minus of this is simple interest. We are subtracting simple interest from compound interest because compound interest value is always higher than the simple interest. Okay, minus P into rate value is 5 into time value is 3 divided by 100. So this is what we get. So if we take the P part as common, so if we take the P part as common, we are left out with 1 plus 5 over 100 is 1 by 20, and this is 21 by 20. So we'll have to do 21's cube divided by 20's cube minus 1 because P had been taken common, minus, then if we solve this, 5 divides 100 by 20, so it's going to be 3 by 20 here. Okay, so this is what is the difference. If you solve this further a little down, so what we're gonna get, so it is ultimately coming out to be P is still outside, so it's coming out to be 1261 divided by 8000, that is 20's cube, minus 3 by 20, that is the final thing that we are getting. So if we solve this particular number, so difference is coming out to be P times 0.007625. Okay, this 0.007625 is nothing but the mathematical expression of this whole expression. So what he has said now, let us see that he has said we must multiply the sum of money by to find out the difference. What we are doing, so difference is 0.007625 times of P. So this is that multiplier that he was asking, that what should be multiplied with the sum of money so that we get the difference. So this is that particular value 0.007625, which is available in 0.007625 is available in option A itself and is going to be the right answer. Now, a man borrows rupees 6,000 at 10% compound rate of interest, and he pays back 2,000 at the end of each year to clear his debt. The amount that he should pay to clear all his dues at the end of third year is, okay, so clearly the principal value is given out to be 6,000 rupees. The rate value is given out to be 10%. Okay, and he says he pays back rupees 2,000 at the end of each year. So we'll calculate it one by one. Okay, we'll calculate for 1 year first, and then we subtract that 2,000 because he's paying 2,000 back. So we're gonna have to subtract that 2,000. Okay, so let us find out the first year's interest and for first year's amount value. So as we know, for first year, as we already know, for first year, as simple interest is equal to compound interest. Okay, there is no compounding when the compounding is done annually. So simple interest is equal to compound interest just for first year. Okay, so we can use any of the formula. So let us use the simple formula. Simple interest is nothing but principal into rate into time over 100. Okay, so the principal value we know is 6,000, rate value we know is 10%, time value is 1 divided by 100. Okay, so this is the simple interest, which is coming out to be 600 rupees. So what has the amount become after 1 year? Amount after 1 year has become how much? The principal value was 6,000 and the interest earned is 600. So the amount value that has become is 6,600. So after first year, his debt value is 6,600. Then they say after each year he pays back 2,000 rupees. So if he's paying back 2,000 rupees, so amount paid is 2,000 rupees. Okay. So remaining amount is how much? Remaining amount can be found out by subtracting 6,600 minus 2,000. So the remaining amount is nothing but 6,600 minus 2,000 value, which he has already paid. So we receive 4,600. So now this is the next principle. Okay, 4,600 is the only debt left after first year. So now whatever interest is applicable on this amount only, on this principle only. So this is our new principle for the second tenure, for the second year. So now for the second year again, we're going to have to find out the earlier one bar for first year. For the second year again, we're going to have to use the same formula. So principal value is now changed to 4,600 because he has paid 2,000 already. Into the rate percent remains same. We are again calculating for 1 year only, divided by 100 principal rate time. So it is calculated as 460 rupees. So this is the interest that is to be added up. So the amount after 2 year has become how much? The principal was 4,600 plus the interest has been earned as 460, which comes out to be rupees 5,060. This is the amount after second year he has to pay. But then they say after every year he pays back 2,000 rupees. So he again paying back 2,000 rupees. So he has he has already paid 2,000 again here. So now the remaining amount, now what is the remaining amount? Let us find out. The simply by subtracting 5,060 minus 2,000. Okay, so this will be the remaining amount after the 2 years has been passed out. So the remaining amount is going to be 5,060 minus 2,000 is 60 is nothing but 3,060. So this is the remaining amount that has been left out after the second year. Okay, after the first year, they had asked the amount that he should pay to clear the debt, all his debt at the end of third year. So that's what we are supposed to find out here. Okay, after first year the amount is 6,600 and then he had to pay 4,600 out of it. Then after the second year also gone, so the remaining amount that has to be paid is 3,060 rupees. So that should be the right answer. 3,060 rupee is the final answer, which is available in option number C. It becomes the right answer. This third year is not third year. This has to be second year. Okay. This has to be second year. Then only the answer will be 3,060. Okay. Now, question number 39. What annual payment will discharge a debt of rupees 1,025 due in 2 years at the rate of 5% compound interest? But they are asking is, if somebody has taken a loan of rupees 1,025 at the rate of 5% compound interest, then what amount is to be repaid back? That's what they're asking. What amount is to be repaid back? Okay, what should be the EMI? What should be the annual payment? Okay, not monthly payment, but rather the annual payment should be what? So that the debt, whatever debt has been taken with interest, is paid back completely. Okay, so for that, we can say there is a formula being used. There's a formula that can be used. What is that formula? Let's say the annual payment is X rupees. Okay, the annual payment that will discharge this debt is, let's say, X rupees. So there can be a formula in the scene for such type of equations, for such type of problems. The formula is X divided by 1 plus rate R over 100. This is the first time, plus again X divided by 1 plus R over 100's whole square. Okay, if the scene was for 2 years, then for the first time we have just taken R over 100 and power 1, and we have added this to 1 plus R over 100 power 2. Okay, because this is a scene of 2 years. Had this been a scene of 3 years, then another term of this particular order should have been added up with a power of 3 in the denominator. Should be equal to, after this, it should be equal to the principal value. Okay, it should be equal to the principal value, which is 1025 for our case. Let us write it principal. So this is the formula which is applicable for discharging the annual debt. Okay, this is the formula that is applicable for discharging the annual debt. Let us use this formula directly. So we're going to get the x value is unknown to us also, the annual discharge, divided by 1 plus 5 over 100, because the rate value is 5, plus x again divided by 1 plus rate value is 5 over 100 whole square, and this value should be equal to principal, that is nothing but 1025. Okay, if we solve this further, this comes out to be x taken common is 20 by 21, and then it is multiplied by 41 by 21, and this should be equal to 1025. Okay, this should be equal to 1025. If we solve for this x, the x value is coming out to be 1025 multiplied by 21 square, which has gone from left hand side to right hand side, divided by 41 into 20. That is the numerator of the left hand side. If we solve this further, this ultimately is coming out to be 551.25. So that should be the annual payment that will discharge a debt of 1025, which is due for 2 years at the rate of 5% compound interest. And this particular option is available in option number C, and it becomes the right answer. Okay, question number 40. Govind invested an amount of rupees 14,720. Okay, so 14,720 is the sum at 12.5% compound interest. So that is the rate value. This is the principal value. Find the amount received by him at the end of 3 years. So the time value is 3 years and the amount value is unknown. So we have a simple formula for finding out the amount. Amount is going to be principal times 1 plus rate by 100 to the power time. So we are given everything. So we are just you need to put the values in the formula correctly, and we're going to get the amount value. So that is going to be principal value is given as 14,720. 1 plus rate value is given as 12.5 divided by 100 to the power time value is given as 3. So we're going to have to write 3 for the time value. Okay, we need to solve this equation further. Let us do it. It is going to be 14,720, and if 12.5 cuts 100, it cuts 100 by 1 by 8. And if we solve this further, this is the LCM is 8, so it is going to be 8 plus 1, that is 9 by 8. So we are getting 9 by 8 in the denominator in the bracket, and the power is still 3. If we solve this further, this is coming out to be 14,720, and multiplied by 9's cube, that is 729, divided by 8's cube, that is 512. Okay, if we solve this further, this is coming out to be ultimately in a decimal number, which is 20,958.75. If we approximate this, so it is approximately equal to 20,950 9. That is the ultimate value, 20,959. Okay, let me rewrite this, 20,959. That is the approximated value of the amount, and this amount is available in option number D already. So that is the right answer, option number D. 20,959 is the final amount that he's gonna receive after 3 years with 12.5% as the rate, and scheme is compound interest over a principal of 14,720 as the right answer.